The development of theory of mind from a cross-cultural perspective. My name is Michael McGurk, and I thank you for viewing my video presentation. Theory of mind. Now, the definition of theory of mind refers to children's ability to understand the thinking of others. It is through understanding the intentions of others that behaviors may be anticipated. Now, theory of mind is generally thought to develop universally across cultures. However, other processes, such as social cognition and language, are also in development, with interactions in these processes responsible for the development of the whole person. Now let's talk about the development of theory of mind. Within typically developing children, theory of mind is understood to be acquired between the ages of 3 to 5. False belief tasks involve children being asked about situations where the facts presented contradict beliefs and are used in determining children's theory of mind abilities. Now, 3-year-olds generally fail false belief tasks, while 4-year-olds generally succeed. Now, it was mentioned that theory of mind is also developing simultaneously with other processes such as social cognition and language. So let's talk about social cognition. The human brain is considered to be social in nature, with debate centered around the extent to which environmental experiences contribute to the social brain's beginnings. The ability to communicate and socialize with others is universal across cultures, in spite of differences in both culture and physical locations. Now, from a socio-cultural point of view, basic mental processes are universal across humans, with cultural factors responsible for how processes may be demonstrated, for example, by influencing what thoughts people think, as well as how others may think. Now, from a sociocultural point of view, people are not separated from the social context encountered within their environment. Through engaging in cultural activities, including social communication as well as language, cognition develops as a means of making sense of and adapting towards society at large. Now, socialization values do differ across cultures, and this is indicated by individualistic and collectivistic cultures. So, let's talk about some cultural differences in terms of values. Individualistic cultures. Now, individualistic cultures place emphasis upon independence, where the self is viewed as separate and independent from other people. Individualistic cultures encourage children to develop their own independent thoughts and opinions as supported in conversation with others. Western culture is generally thought to be more individualistic, and this occurs in countries such as the United States and Australia. Independent thinking may lead towards children in individualistic cultures to understand diversity of opinions from an early age. By contrast, let's talk about collectivistic cultures. Now, collectivistic cultures place emphasis upon the self as operating interdependently within relationships of the group. Children are encouraged to conform within cultural practices, as demonstrated by adults for whom respect is taught. Collectivism is demonstrated more within Eastern cultures, such as China. The development of theory of mind in children in collectivistic cultures may occur through the emphasis upon acquiring knowledge over the development of individual diverse beliefs. So another process that's happening simultaneously with theory of mind is language development. Now, a relationship does exist between theory of mind and language abilities. For example, in a study by Astington and Jenkins, children's language abilities likely resulted towards changes in theory of mind skills. However, theory of mind skills did not result in changes towards the development of language. The development of language assists with the development of theory of mind, particularly in the structure of the language itself. For children to understand the thinking of others, as it may be different from their own, language serves as a means of organization and representation for the understanding of false beliefs. It has to be said, however, that most studies on the relationship between theory of mind and language are conducted on children who speak English. Now let's add into language development theory of mind the notion of culture. And a recent study by De Mulder et al. That was conducted on Dutch-speaking children demonstrated that the development of language abilities plays a critical role for children in understanding false beliefs and subsequent theory of mind skills, regardless of what language the child encounters in their culture. While theory of mind does develop universally, the timing varies based upon culture and language as experienced within children's environments. For example, Chinese meaning of verbs related to thinking differs from those in English, with English placing a neutral value towards thinking verbs such as think or believe, and the Chinese language specifically attributing a false belief behind thinking words. As indicated by the study by Liu et al., understanding false beliefs is affected by language and verb form, with Chinese children benefiting from the use of false verbs over neutral verbs in understanding false beliefs. However, using false belief verbs does not benefit Chinese children over Western children in overall understanding towards false beliefs, despite differences in false belief development spanning more than 2 years, as indicated within the study by Liu et al. Now, from a neurological standpoint, let's talk about, in a recent study by Kobayashi et al., the development of theory of mind as assessed through false beliefs tests in children of different cultures also demonstrated brain activity to be both dependent upon as well as independent of cultural language factors. Universally, children process theory of mind more emotionally compared to adults who use cognitive processes. The ventral medial prefrontal region of the brain is concerned with the emotional side of behaviors, while the dorsal cingulate region of the brain is concerned with cognition of behaviors. In the study by Kobayashi et al., Americans were found to demonstrate greater brain activation in the right temporoparietal junction compared to the study's Japanese group during theory of mind activities. The temporoparietal area is associated with control of the self and actions, compared to concerns towards behaviors of the group. The Japanese group, in line with their cultural values, demonstrated reduced activation in this area during theory of mind activities. So, theory of mind is both universal as well as context-specific. Theory of mind develops both universally as well as according to specific environmental factors, with differences resulting from factors such that are sociocultural, including language. The differences accounted for across cultures involve the order of theory of mind steps acquired, not the overall acquisition of theory of mind abilities. The order towards which individual theory of mind abilities developed is in accordance with an individual's culture, in accordance with cultural values, such as U.S. children placing diversity of beliefs ahead of the access of knowledge, as reversed within Chinese children. In conclusion, the development of theory of mind does occur universally across cultures. Other cognitive processes, such as social skills and language, are developing simultaneously, however, with differences accounted for by sociocultural factors that include language. My name is Michael McGurk, and I thank you for viewing my presentation.